And welcome everyone. Please forgive me as you see me moving around. I'm trying to get out of the ray of light that is coming from behind me, which is usually a good thing, but not so much for Zoom presentations. My name is Melissa Rossi. I'm the assistant director for college programs in the David T. Kearns Center. We'll talk a little bit later about what that means, but I am going to throw it over to my colleagues to introduce themselves and to start the presentation.
Thank you, Melissa. Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Anika Simone Johnson. I am the Assistant Director for Student Engagement and Success in the Office of Minority Student Affairs.
Hello, everyone. I'm Norman Burnett. I'm the Assistant Dean and Director of the Office of Minority Student Affairs and the Higher Education Opportunity Program.
Hello, everyone. I am Walisa Griffin. I'm the Associate Director of the Office of Minority Student Affairs, the Senior Counselor of the Higher Education Opportunity Program, and the Coordinator of the ECO program.
Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Cruz. I am the Assistant Director of the Arthur O. Eve Higher Education Opportunity Program, AGOP, and a Senior Counselor in the Office of Minority Student Affairs.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tatiana Golston. I am the Senior Secretary for the Office of Minority Student Affairs.
So we're going to get started. I would like to share my screen. So give me one moment. So I can only see the panelists. I cannot see the students. Can everyone see the PowerPoint clear? Okay, great. I see some heads saying yes, they can see. Okay, thanks for the thumbs up. So as you all know, this is the presentation as Ms. Shana already indicated. So we're going to get started. And this is the staff team. We are the Office of Minority Student Affairs. We already introduced ourselves. An overview about the office. Office of Minority Student Affairs is known on campus by OMSA. You will hear students call it OMSA or HOMSA. It is the official academic home for historically underrepresented minority students. As you see listed here, that indicates Black, African American, Hispanic, Latinx, American Indian, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander. Our office and the entire staff team is dedicated to assisting students throughout their 4 years here at the college through holistic advising, education opportunities, collaborations with different offices on campus. We are located in Dewey Hall, as you see indicated here. The general email and telephone number is listed, so please take a screenshot of that and or write that down. And as we go further, you will have our individual emails. Some more information about our department. As I mentioned, connecting students to different opportunity program and various resources on and off campus. We provide students with a few programs listed here, and my colleagues will have an opportunity to go a little further. As Ms. Walisa Griffin mentioned, the Early Connections Opportunity Program. Mr. Cruz mentioned Higher Education Opportunity Program. Again, the holistic advising, so working with students academically, personally, career, spiritual. That's what the advisors here do with our students. We also have an Emergence Leaders Program. Another resource, we have a book lending program for students, as well as we offer tutoring, which is also in collaboration with the David T. Kearns Center, which you will learn a little later on. But I would like to turn it over first to Mr. Cruz to talk a little bit about the HEOP program. This is extremely important. Make sure you have your notepads and you are writing down some of this information.
So the HOP program was started in 1969. University of Rochester was one of the founding institutions. We are looking for students, always looking for students. We're looking for students who meet our academic criteria, and it's a pretty broad scale. We're looking for students whose GPAs are between 80 and 90 on the percentile range. We're looking for students who's, if you've taken the SAT scores, exams, I mean, we're looking for scores that are anywhere between 1010 to, and that's just math and verbal combined, 1010 to about 1260. So as you can see, the range is pretty broad. Through the Office of Minority Student Affairs, we offer a lot of the support that students will use and take advantage of. All HOP students are required by the state to attend our Early Connection Opportunity Program, or ECO. Trying to think of what else is there to say about HOP. There is an academic criteria, and there's also a financial piece to it, so that you qualify both ways. If you are interested in looking to see if you're financially eligible for HOP, you can always go to the University of Rochester's Office of Minority Student Affairs website. And in there, you will find HOP, and under HOP, you will see our income guidelines. These guidelines are from the 2019-2020 academic year. We haven't received word from the state yet that the guidelines have, the financial thresholds have changed, but we'll get those soon enough, and then we'll update our website. But if you qualify based on last year's guidelines, then chances are you're going to qualify this year as well. If you're just outside of the range, you may be like $30, $40, $50, $100 off. You may qualify this year too. But we won't know that until we receive those that new information.
Thank you, Mr. Cruz. Thank you. Before we go on, Ms. Griffin, do you want to add anything about the ECO program?
I will just add that all HLP students are required to come to the Early Connection Opportunity Program, ECO, as a condition of their admission to the program. There are also other students, I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. There are other students who are also may be required to participate and successfully complete as part of their admission, and other students are, it's suggested that we feel that you would be fine with it, but you would do a little bit better. You'd be fine without it, but you would do a little bit better if you participated. And from time to time, we do have students who just reach out to our office because they want to participate. If we have spaces available, we will accommodate those. But that has not happened for the past few years because we have been filled to capacity. But it is a great program that introduces you to the resources and other folks that we work very closely with that will assist you in being successful at the University of Rochester. So hopefully we will see you as part of our 2021 cohort.
Thank you. So there is definitely some opportunities for students to participate and be active on campus socially. This is extremely important, and it's definitely a way that students be most successful in college. You must have a balance of academic rigor as well as social. It really helps keep you managing your academics within a positive direction. So we do have a student-centered approach. We support our students through multicultural groups. We do have sororities and fraternities. We do have some of the Divine Nine here on campus. We have a Women of Color Circle, the Douglas Leadership House. Students can learn more about that through our office and or admissions, the Minority Male Leadership Association, as well as the Minority Association of Pre-Medical Students, which students will call MAPS, MMLA, DLA, DLH, and WOC. Here are our email addresses. So if you are interested in learning more, and you have some more questions, we will definitely answer a lot of questions tonight. However, if you want to reach out to anyone individually, our email addresses are here. Please make sure you screenshot it or you can write it down. And now I will turn it over to Ms. Rossi.
Thank you, Anika. I appreciate that. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm so excited that you could join us. I don't know if I met anybody last week at our first gen session, but I'm happy to talk again. So, I want to talk a little bit about the David T. Kearns Center for Leadership and Diversity. Our mission is to transform lives through educational opportunity. So, you're probably thinking, well, what exactly does that mean? That means for our population of students, first generation college, low income, or minoritized students, we offer a variety of different programs and services to help you reach your educational goals and to remove any obstacles that may be in the way of those goals. We are the academic home for first generation college students, as you can see from our little logo over here. And while we are that and we welcome first gen students, we also support students from low income backgrounds and minoritized students who may not identify as first gen. My contact information is on this page. If you, after the presentation, would like to email me, have any questions, there's also a link in my email to set up a Zoom meeting if you want to chat. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about the programs and services that we offer through the center. We are on the fourth floor of Dewey Hall ourselves, so hopefully we'll be seeing you on campus in the fall. You can stop up and say hello. So, the services that we offer at the center, we offer academic advising and career planning. Much like OMSA, we have a holistic advising approach. So, we understand that things outside of academics may impact your experience on campus, and we want to know all about those things. Most of the staff who are working in the office are motivated to do this kind of work because they come from similar backgrounds and that they want to take their experience and share that with students who are currently navigating the spaces of college. We offer assistance in applying to summer research programs, graduate school preparation. So I know you're probably like, hey, we're not even in college yet, and we're talking about graduate school. But that's something that we definitely like to work on with our students from the moment they set foot on campus. And hopefully that becomes part of your educational pathway. We also have a textbook lending program. Textbooks are expensive. So instead of having to purchase every single one of your textbooks between OMSA and Kearns, hopefully you can borrow enough so that it can reduce your cost. We have a pretty big lending library so that you can borrow those textbooks from us as well. We offer a number of different workshops. If you become a part of our program, we like to supplement some of the work that we do through workshops that focus on professional development or academic skill building, or maybe just fun social engagement. Around Halloween, we just had a Kearns bingo night so that we can all get together via Zoom and hang out socially. When it's not a pandemic, we also like to share meals together. And during our events, we often have food. We offer scholarship opportunities for the summer. So while those are limited, and maybe we can only offer 10 to 12, if students come in and they become a part of our programs and maybe they get off track a little bit in their first year with their program of study, or they're having trouble adhering to it, you can apply for a scholarship to take a summer course. And the Kern Center, if you're awarded it, would pay for your summer tuition, pay for housing, pay for a meal stipend. We have a computer lab with free printing, which maybe right now doesn't seem like a big deal, but once you get here, you'll realize that free printing is a good thing. And in collaboration with OMSA, we offer chemistry study groups. So that is for the introductory chemistry series and the organic chemistry series. So I hope you're thinking, wow, these services sound great. How can I become a part of what the Kern Center does? So we have a number of different programs. We have what's called federally funded TRIO programs. So TRIO programs came into existence in the mid 1960s, and they are specifically aimed at supporting first generation college students from low income backgrounds. We have the Ronald E. Mcnair Post-Baccalaureate Achievement Program. That is our oldest program. We've had it for 28 years, continuously funded, and the whole center was kind of born just out of that one program. That program supports students who are interested in earning a PhD. And it is for first gen low income students, but it's also for students underrepresented in graduate education. We were recently awarded a student support services program, which is what we are going to use to introduce students to our services when they set foot on campus. We have a research program. We partner with the National Science Foundation to offer what's called REU programs, research experience for undergraduates. So, again, another opportunity to gain research experiences that are funded. And finally, we have our Kern Summer Research Scholars Program. We partner with faculty who have students in their lab to kind of wrap them into what we do in the Kern Center, not just through research over the summer, but through a really robust program that we offer to all of our students. I want to talk a little bit more about the Kearns Scholars Program. I kind of left it for last, even though it was first, because the Kearns Scholars Program is our gateway program. We do a lot of recruiting and outreach to first year students so that we can bring them in through that program. And if you want to go to the next slide, I'll talk a little bit about how you become a Kearns Scholar. So we have a 1 credit bearing course called CASC 145 Navigating the Academy. When you register for that course, you'll go through an 8-week seminar. So that seminar provides a space to talk about shared experiences on campus, provide resources that'll help you with the transition, connect you to a larger community of scholars that'll hopefully be your support network as you navigate the rest of your way through college. Once you take that 1 credit course and complete it, you are a Kearns Scholar. So really, you'll receive a lot of outreach and communication from us. The course doesn't start until about midway through the semester, so there's a long time to become connected. We offer it every semester, multiple different sections, and we've had about 500 or so students in the last handful of years go through the program. So that is a little bit about the Kearns Center. I actually can't remember if I have another slide, Anika. I don't think that I do not. So that is a little bit about the Kearns Center, and I think that we are happy to take some questions. We have our first question. So Anna asks, how can we determine at the time of application if we qualify for any of the programs? I don't know if we want to start with HEOP because that's probably a big one, right?
You want to take that, Tom?
So for HEOP, you will know because there's a process, an application process, and during that process, any student who admissions deems to be academically eligible for HEOP, they will receive notification via email that their application is being considered for HEOP, and you will receive instructions on next steps. So, submitting your FAFSA, submitting your CSS profile. If there's a need for a non-custodial parent form, you'll be notified that you'll need to submit that as well. The other way to let us know that you are interested in HEOP is just by emailing us. If you're still working on the application, but you want to let us know early, you can just send us an email expressing your interest in HEOP, and that way we can, track your application through the process. So those are a couple of the ways that you can let us know that you're interested in HEOP, or that we will notify you if your application is eligible for an HEOP review.
All right. In terms of the Kearns Center, on your application, if you indicate that you're a first generation college student, we will definitely do some outreach. If you become a part of ECO or HEOP, we push into OMSA or to ECO over the summer and talk a little bit about the services that we offer. But essentially, if you want to be a part of the Kearns Center, you just have to identify with one of the groups that we support. You don't have to prove it to us. You just have to identify and join our class.
Yeah, I might just add that during the application process, if you indicate that you are underrepresented minority student, one of the groups that Dr. Johnson mentioned, then we automatically will get that information and reach out to you, and you become a part of OMSA, so to speak.
Anna, thank you for breaking the ice there. Other questions, we're happy to hear them. Or read them, I guess. All right. So can you be please define first generation applicant? Different colleges have their own definition. So we use the federal definition. So that means that neither of your parents or guardians earned a 4-year baccalaureate degree. So they could have attended college, they could have had gotten like a 2-year degree, but they just haven't earned a 4-year baccalaureate degree. And that doesn't, if you have brothers and sisters that attended college, that's fine. You're still considered first generation. Good question, though. If anyone wants to know anything about student life or what students experience on campus, some of the things that they're involved in. All right, that's spark. So where do we have available programs listed at the University of Rochester?
So if you go into the admissions page, they have usually they will list all of the academic offerings that the university has. So as you're doing your application, if you just go in, there's a page that says academic. Just go into that page and you will see all of the listings the university has.
And have students reported success levels after attending the program? Oops, so what is their experience been overall?
So for HEOP students, I can speak specifically to them. We have a 90% graduation rate. So for us, we see that as being great. However, the goal is always 100%. But sometimes students get homesick, miss home, and decide to go to school closer to home. So yeah, that's where we are right now, 90%.
In the current scholars program, we also retain and graduate students at a higher rate than if they're not enrolled in our program. For our Mcnair program, our federally funded TRIO program, we also enroll students into graduate school at about an 80% rate, which the national average for other Mcnair programs around the country is 40%. So I think we're all doing a good job. And Anika has so kindly dropped all of our titles and email addresses in the chat. Thank you so much for that. Looks like we got another question. Can I study abroad as an HEOP student?
Yes, you can. And we encourage it. The way your financial aid is packaged, as long as you're using a university-sponsored study abroad program, and they cover most of the globe, your financial aid package will help to cover your study abroad experience. We also have a Gilman Scholarship that you can use if you're low income and you need money for a plane ticket or little things to help you on your way. With that, all you have to do is when you get back, you just have to do a program where you talk to other students about your study abroad experience. So you're encouraging other students to study abroad. But yes, the HEOP students have studied abroad. We just had some students who were over in Australia. They go to Spain, Italy. They've gone all over the world. Ghana, wherever there's a program, our students have been there.
I'd say, unfortunately, none of our students have been able to study abroad this year because of COVID, but we're hoping and praying that changes by the time you guys are coming in as first-year students. Most students that study abroad will do that in their sophomore year and beyond. It's unlikely that a first-year student would study abroad unless it's a summer program experience. But yes, we all encourage our students to study abroad, and if you have financial aid, as Mr. Cruz said, it can apply towards meeting mostly all of your expenses for studying abroad.
Yes, I think the students that we work with, every student who has applied to and been accepted abroad and wanted to go, I think we've been able to work with them so that they can afford to go. So that is definitely not a barrier. All right. Do the students attending the program successfully thrive managing the academic rigor at the U of R? Good question.
So my response to that is yes. Because of the Kearns Center, because of OMSA, because of HEOP and all the support systems that the university provides, students are able to thrive here and meet the academic rigor. It is going to be tough. So we want you to know coming in, you're going to have to relearn how you learn. And that's usually why the first year is so stressful. because you're learning to write argumentative papers as opposed to papers that just, detail information. You're learning to do things and think critically about everything, which is, something that's going to be tough for you to do initially. However, over time, you will definitely get it. We are very supportive offices. We make sure that you have everything you need to succeed. Tutoring on campus is free, so there's no need for you to have to suffer needlessly. A lot of the problems that students will most likely have is that you guys have to get out of your own way, and that you have to, go after and seek help. Right now, you guys are the best and the brightest in your schools. So you're not used to asking for a lot of help from other students, and you're not necessarily used to asking from help from a college professor, and seeking advice. And that is the thing that you have to adapt to. Once you get over that hurdle, then yeah, you'll start to see that you're able to thrive in this environment. Most of our students not only are thriving academically, but they also are student leaders on campus. They're able to balance both their academic and their social careers. It's doable, but you just have to humble yourself, adapt to this new environment, and then yeah, you will do extremely well.
I don't know if Lisa, Melissa, someone wants to talk about, Nika, about the advising system that students will have an advisor for 4 years now.
Melissa, go ahead, please.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great question, Jordy. So when you come into the University of Rochester, you're going to be assigned an undergraduate advisor. If you are part of programs associated with OMSA, your advisor will be in OMSA. If you are a first-generation college student, you may have an advisor in the Kearns Center, but we will stay with you for all 4 years of your undergraduate career. Additionally, if you are not connected directly to either someone in Kearns or someone in OMSA as an undergraduate advisor, once you join our program, so if you become a Kearns scholar, you will additionally be connected to a Kearns advisor. We really have I think a team approach here at the U of R. So there's going to be a lot of people connected to you where you can go to for support and can offer different kinds of advice. But yes, you will be connected initially to an advisor, and you'll have the opportunity to connect more. If anyone else wants to say more about that.
Yeah, if you're an engineer, if you're interested in engineering, the engineering department has its advisors. So whatever your interests are, you will have an advisor who will help you through that. You'll have 4-year advisors, and then once you move into your area of study, and you get to your major, you will even then have people in the department who will be your advisors as well. So you will have layers and layers of people who you can turn to for advice. Oftentimes, that's just a person who you fit best with. You feel like when you sit down, you can just be yourself and express yourself, and you have to learn to take advice and criticism, because we will let you know where you stand so that we can get you to where you want to be. The goal is to be there so that you can make the University of Rochester your home away from home. That's how we refer to OMSA. One of our former students referred to us as HOMSA because we're the home away from home. So the goal is to get you well connected so that no matter where you are on campus, there's somebody you can reach out to.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about internships. If you are connected to our programs, how we help with internships. We work very closely with the Green Center, which is our career center for internships and career connectedness. So a lot of these support services are housed in Dewey Hall. So we're talking about location, but we're physically very close to each other. But professionally, we work very closely to each other as well. When you become connected to our programs, we help you navigate the systems where you can go and look for internships. The Kearns Center offers some research programs, so it's not specifically focused on internships. It's more research based. So if folks are interested in that, we can help you find, apply to, and submit competitive applications to those types of programs. I will gladly hand it off. Somebody wants to say more? All right, lots of questions coming in now. Are resources available such as tutoring, academic support, teaching assistantships, study groups, students to help learn time management and how to effectively study about their academic coursework?
So yes, yes, and yes. We do have, there's a class called Methods of Inquiry. It's a half a year, a half a semester course, which helps you with developing study skills for college. It normally starts in the second half of the semester, and they have one in the fall and one in the spring. I would say if you take advantage of Kearns and in their class, it helps you also to learn to navigate and to adjust to college life. Getting help is really easy. The Center for was it teaching CETL? We just call it CETL. So
Learning.
Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning.
Thank you. So that office is, I mean, you can literally just go online and you can sign up for a tutor. You don't even have to walk into the office to sign up for a tutor. So all of our services and support services are very readily available to you. For students who are admitted and come to the ECL program, you're going to have access to all of this information, and you will actually be able to preview a lot of that stuff while you're in the summer program. If you're not in the summer program, during freshman orientation, a lot of that stuff is provided. Information will be provided to you. Your advisor will also notify you and let you know of all the resources that are available to you. So everything is easy. You have easy access to everything.
Yeah, the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning is also in Dewey Hall. And before I came to the Kearns Center, I was a study skills consultant there. So one of the additional things that they offer, in addition to tutoring and study groups, is study skills consulting. In the transition from high school to college, especially students who were really high achieving in high school, sometimes maybe you didn't have to do a whole lot outside of going to class. So study skills and time management are important and can be sometimes something you didn't fully develop as a high school student. So you can actually meet individually with a study skills consultant and talk about your strategies, talk about what's going well, what's not going so well, and they can introduce different things so that you can learn and evolve, grow new strategies as a college student. But yes, all of those things are super important. I will also say the one credit course that we teach in the Kearns Center, CASC 145, most of the students who have taken that course have the opportunity to come back and serve as a teaching assistant for that course and be paid for their work. So that's a really great opportunity as well.
And we also have a writing center, and that center is going to be crucial to you learning how to write on a college campus. All students are required to take an entry-level writing course, and that course is designed to help you to learn how to write on a college campus. So you're going to be supported in a number of different ways. I always tell students, if you can, reach out, use the writing center, start there before you even start your paper, because a lot of it is coming down to how you structure your paper, and then the writing process and how do you think about what goes into the writing process. The toughest thing about being a college student, though, is this. When you were in high school and like now, you guys can set a certain amount of time for yourselves to do your work. When you get to college, you're going to first start to think, well, in high school, I only had to use an hour and I was able to knock out all of my math homework. An hour is just a hiccup in a week that you're going to need to put in time to actually do the studying. So where the rigor comes in is because it takes longer to get the stuff done that you're going to have to do. You're going to be required to do more work. And doing more work, it's going to take you longer to get it done. So even though you may not be in class every moment of the day, during those gaps, what determines how successful you will be is how you use your free time. because your free time really isn't free. It's just that you're not in class. So how do you use that time is going to be important to your success.
Yeah, just one quick addition. It's called the Writing, Speaking, and Argument Program. And so if you Google it and look it up, it's free tutoring for any course that you take that has any kind of writing content, you know, from freshman course, first year course to senior courses. So very important resource that students use on campus. And so I would just encourage you to go to their website and you can see how robust the tutoring is. You can get tutoring from professional tutors as well as peers. And they're available to you pretty much all throughout the evening as well as during 9 to 5 time period. But excellent resource for students.
Anika, did you want to say anything? I thought I saw you unmute.
No, I was going to answer Anna's question, or Anna, I'm not sure how she pronounced it, how often to meet with students. I'm assuming the question is relating to how often advisors meet with students. So that's where I'm going to go. You can correct me if that's not the question, Anna. And I would say it's on an as-need basis. Students will meet with their advisors weekly, bi-weekly, every 3 weeks, once a month. It really depends on the need of the student and what support the student needs. However, during your first semester, it is imperative that you stay close and connected to your advisors. And I know a lot of advisors will typically request students meet with them every 2 weeks, particularly during their first year, just to make sure we keep a pulse, make sure you are eating, you're sleeping, and you are doing well in your college transition, because we know that the first 8 weeks really the first 6 weeks is really tough for students in that college transition from home to college.
All right, what are some leadership roles or opportunities that undergraduate students have participated in? That is a big question.
Yeah, because our students are all over the place. They're leaders in cultural groups. They're leader in pre-professional groups. They're leaders. We have the Douglas Leadership House, which is a leadership training house. So we have leaders that are there. Our students are leaders in programs that are in our office, Minority Male Leadership Association, WLA, just a myriad of things. So there are a lot of opportunities for students to become involved and grow into leadership. The most important thing is this: in high school, when you're leading programs, you have a lot of faculty and staff support. When you're in college, you have an advisor, but the work is up to you. And it's almost like Chicken Little, everybody, or Henny Penny, everybody wants to help, but nobody's gonna help. So a lot more will fall on you. So that's where time management becomes important, because there are a lot of people who are gonna wanna eat from your plate, but there are not a lot of people who are gonna put their hands in to do the work. And you will find that leadership on campus is for you to develop the skills that you're going to need. And these same skills will carry over beyond your time at the University of Rochester. But leadership is more hands-on here, and being able to work with students from various backgrounds.
Yeah. I would just add a lot of the skills that you develop in these leadership programs can apply towards some internships, even graduate school, applying to graduate school. So we encourage students to participate in leadership, but balance is really important. So we want to make sure that students don't overdo it, because there's so many clubs and organizations and leadership opportunities at the university that sometimes students overextend themselves. And so, as advisors, we'll help you to with that balance.
So what are the opportunities like for students to explore different majors if you come in undecided? Is there a limit or a time frame set due to requirements to choose a track or a major? I think we love when students come in as undecided. I think a lot of students come in and they're very much think they're sure on what exactly they want to do, and not may have the opportunity to explore different things. So yes, the answer is yes. There are so many different majors and courses and departments to explore. You don't declare your major at the University of Rochester until the second semester of your sophomore year. So you do have a lot of different opportunities to take different courses. I always tell students, like, you're coming from a high school that can only offer so much academic curriculum. So when you come here, take something that you've never heard of before. We have such a robust engineering program. We have, English courses and art. There's so, oops, sorry. This is my dog. She would like to be a part. But yes, there are so many things that you can explore. And on that note, I will turn it over.
So with the exception of engineering, because the engineering program is actually a 5-year program condensed into a 4-year program. So for engineering, you literally have to come in knowing that you want to be an engineering major. During the summer program, ECO, you have a chance to take, it's almost like a pre-engineering class where you'll get to sample a lot of the various engineering programs. And that will help you to decide, where you wanna go. But yeah, outside of that, any other area of study, you have a lot of time. Your advisor will let you know that you should look broadly and take classes across the curriculum, because we do offer like classes in the humanities, which are more like the languages and English courses and things of that nature. We have social science courses, which are more like history and psych and political science. We also then have the natural sciences, which are biology, chemistry. Most people get into the natural sciences because they're interested in pre-med. So even as a pre-med major though, you don't have to be a biology major to be a pre-med major. You don't have to be a chemistry major to be a pre-med major. We've had students who were Spanish majors but took the pre-med required coursework and were able to go study abroad in Spain, but also come back, do well academically in their chosen major and fulfill their pre-med required coursework and then go on to medical school. So it's not as rigid as you would think that it is. And oftentimes, because there's so much flexibility, students who are accustomed to being told, do this, 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 and this, usually freak out a little bit because there's a lot of freedom. We're there to guide you and help you, but we're not here to tell you what to do. We're here to offer you advice and suggestions. And then it's up to you to kind of take that information and process it and make it work for you. The most important thing is this is your college experience. So it's going to be what you make it. And our job is just to guide you in a way to get the most out of this experience. 4 years on a college campus goes so fast, your head will be spinning. So our job is to help you make the most out of it.
Anika, I never heard that. That's a great saying. Advisor's guide and you decide.
That's it.
So another question. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, just to wrap it up, I mean, I won't put a percentage, but there are a good number of students who are undecided. So that's not unusual. I mean, we have students who come in who think they want to major in one area and then find something that's really exciting and just change their mind throughout, and they don't lose any ground. You still can graduate in 4 years. So actually, we encourage you to explore and find your passion and interest in a major. So be open to change and opportunities that exist in the curriculum. And I see Dr. Johnson put the curriculum, the Rochester curriculum. Take an opportunity to just kind of take a look at that, and you'll see there's quite a bit of freedom within the curriculum.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially for someone like me who was first gen, I couldn't really imagine the possibilities outside of the things that I knew, like being a doctor, being an engineer, the things that I had heard of. So it's really a great time to explore those different things with us as your guides. All right. So the program, is it granted to undergrads when you are accepted into the Rochester, or is it something that you have to apply to?
Which program?
That's what I was going to say. I wasn't sure about that because we talked about a lot of different programs. Just need a little more specific here.
I'll talk about the Kearns Scholars Program. That one, you just have to express interest and take the course. So it's not like there's an application. But for our federally funded TRIO programs and research programs, those you do have to apply to, and there's an application process, and you have to be accepted.
For HOP, you're admitted as an HOP student. So you're admitted through the admissions process. Once you're in HOP, you're in HOP.
And ECO, it is part of your admission as well. So if you are required, it will be part of your acceptance to the U of R. But there are some students, as I said, that can request. But also if you identify yourself as an underrepresented student, you will automatically be part of the OMSA family and you will receive an OMSA counselor.
So just by virtue of who you are, you're a part of our family when you come. So this is a good question.
Yeah.
Would you say that there's a significant percentage of URM students in STEM majors, especially in CS? You know, who might want to
Yes,
add there?
computer science. Because right now, those are the hot fields. So computer science is an area where we're starting to see an uptick in students who are interested in that particular area. My advice for students who are interested in computer science, start learning to write code now. Don't wait until you get here. Start learning and start writing code now. If you can work your way into Python, that is great. Most of the AI that's coming out now, Python is the base for that learning. So if you're learning to write computer code, or if you started with Java or C++, the goal is to move to Python. But yeah, we're starting to see a large uptick in students who are interested in the computer science area.
If you are interested in engineering, including computer science, the great thing about our Heop School of Engineering is that they have some special outreach programs for students from underrepresented backgrounds. So I know we're kind of talking about all the layers of support that exist, but that is an additional layer of support if you're in those particular majors. All right. Can we talk a little bit about how research works and how programs support students to seek and participate in research? And are there network connections already built in, or do students have to create them and find what they want to explore? Good question.
That's a great question. And I will say, I would start that it is a mixture. We do have a department that's the undergraduate research, where students can start there and work with those staff members to learn about different research opportunities. There will also be research opportunities in your proposed major and or your declared major departments. You will have a faculty advisor, and you will build those relationships with your faculty members and learn about the different research opportunities within your major. And then, of course, there are different research opportunities externally outside of the university that comes across the OMSA's office, of course, David T. Kearns' office, where we'll get opportunities from external constituents asking us, please push this program. We need students to apply, specifically underrepresented students. We want them to be a part of this program. So you will definitely have a wealth of opportunities to build your own research specifics if you wanted to do that. As well as things that are already in place and students have been a part of. Melissa, I know you were shaking your head. You please add.
I love when students are interested in participating in research, because I know that when I was in college, it's not something that was ever even on my radar, not even until I went to graduate school and maybe even my PhD. So we do a lot of the connecting. The Office for Undergraduate Research is also in Dewey Hall, right on the 4th floor. So that's great. Our Ronald E. Mcnair program, since it has existed at the U of R for 28 years, we do have kind of an extended network of faculty who work with students. A big highlight of that program, if you are accepted, we connect you with the faculty mentored research experience the summer after your sophomore year. So you not only get to navigate your way through that program, I'll be mentored by a faculty member, but we work on, having you present your research at outside conferences, visiting graduate schools. So all of those things are true and can happen here at the U of R.
And we have a lot of alum who are now out in the work field and are in positions to literally offer internships. And depending on your area of interest, there's usually someone who will be able to say, I'm looking for someone in a particular area. Do you know of anybody? So, you know, the most important thing too is let us know what you want to do. You have to share your interest. You have to share what you want to do so that we can know how to best, you know, help you. And when opportunities present themselves, we can know to call on you. We all have databases. We all send out emails on a regular basis. As information comes in, we will send it to you. You have to get used to reading your email on a college campus. You're going to get a lot of email. Right now, you already get a lot of junk, as well as, you know, credible email. But the way the University of Rochester functions, that once you have your U of R email address, we will be sending you email about opportunities. And so it's up to you to respond so that we can then, you know, help you move forward.
So we have a question about summer courses and what kind of funding is available for students if they do want to take some summer courses. So I mean, funding for summer courses can be a challenge when you get your financial aid package, and that may include a bunch of different things. It will include some grants, some institutional aid from the university, perhaps some loans as well. That package that they give you is for the academic year, which also covers the fall, the spring, and the summer. So if you do want to take a summer course, essentially you have to look at that total package and decide if you can reserve some of the money that you have and use it for the summer, or see if you haven't taken out the maximum of money that you can take through all those different resources, if you can take out additional monies to pay for a summer course. The Kearns Center does offer maybe 10 to 12 summer scholarships per summer where we can pay for tuition for students to take a summer course. Um, but if you are interested, and if you know where you're interested, definitely work with your financial aid counselor from the get-go so they can see how they might put together your package to have some funding left over for the summer.
Yeah, and I'll just add that, you know, both of our offices work with alums and college advancement office to try to find scholarship money to help with summer school. And so we have some limited aid, but the best strategy is to work with your financial aid counselor on that. But there are some growing, increasing opportunities from donations to help with summer aid.
And so you're asking about alum and how involved are they? We have a new director of alumni affairs and advancement. And that is one of the things that are really developing now on a more formalized base to get alum involved. Our alums are like all around, and there are a lot locally in Rochester, but there are a lot of, most of our alum are coming from like downstate New York, but we have alums throughout the country. And they are always interested in, you know, working with students or talking to students, mentoring them based on your interests. So if you have a particular interest, I'm sure we can connect you with an alum who is doing something that you're interested in. And if not, they know someone who knows someone. I was able to connect one of our former students with an alum. The student was interested in cosmetic science. And I had a former student who was working at Revlon at the time. And so I connected her with that person, and then he connected her to one of the people that he works with, who graduated from the University of Cincinnati with a degree in cosmetic science. And so she was mentored through the process. She's worked, now she's doctor, and she's got her PhD in cosmetic science, and she's actually working at a cosmetic firm. So you let us know what you're interested in, and our job is to kind of help make those connections happen for you.
That's such a cool story. I didn't even know cosmetic science was a thing.
I didn't either. I didn't until she said what I want to do. So she started off as a chemistry major, and then she moved into another area. So,
but I think those are the kind of possibilities that can open up once you start to connect with us and connect with alumni. I will also say that there is something called the Meliora Collective, which is kind of a pilot between the Green Center and then the Office for Alumni and Advancement. When you become a student at the University of Rochester, you have access to the Meliora Collective, which houses all of our alumni who created profiles. So from the moment you set foot on campus, you can start connecting with alum in different fields, by things that they were interested in, by location. So that's a really great resource too. We're all laughing. I don't know who would like to talk about the winter.
Oh man. So the weather here.
Jerry's answer that. That's Mr. Cruz and
Look, I'm from Rochester, and I am still not used to this weather. I think the curse for me was the fact that I went to school in North Carolina, and the winters were so mild, and the summers were blazing hot. But it was just something you adjust to. In Rochester, I tell people all the time, when the winter hits, don't try to look cute. You want to stay warm. The beautiful thing about the university, though, is that we have a tunnel system. So once you hit one of the buildings on the academic quad, you're literally inside, and you can walk through the tunnel system to get to where you need to be, and stay warm. You only have to go out usually to walk to your residence hall. We have buses that literally will take you to residence halls that are not so close to campus. So yeah, the winters are tough. I would say, most students don't even realize you have seasonal disorder until this time of the year, when you find yourself either staying up too late or going to sleep or trying to get to sleep, or you go to sleep earlier than you should. And it's because your melatonin levels are being impacted by the lack of sun. So learning how to adjust to all of that is going to be something you're going to learn how to do. But yeah, winters here are dreadful. In the summer, in the fall, and the spring, I'm good to go outside and hang out. In the wintertime, I go from here to home, and I dread going out anytime after that. Ask my wife.
Well, I like to say that only at U of R and in Rochester can you experience all 4 seasons in 1 week, because it can be nice and then super hot and then comfortable and then snowing, all in a span from Sunday to Sunday. So it really is, as Mr. Cruz said, it really is getting used to it. I also am born and bred near Rochester. I've been here. I went to school here. Haven't left unless it was vacationing or being away for a work meeting outside of Rochester. And I still complain like everybody else does when the winter comes, that the winter is so long. I complain in the summer that the summers are so hot. So it is just something that, even though you learn to deal with it, it always is. It feels like the winters last forever, and it feels like the summers are hotter than you've ever felt before. But again, depends on where you come from, because there's some students that come from colder climates like Chicago, and they're like, your winters are nothing here. And then there's students that are coming from Florida, and they're like, this is not hot. What are you talking about? So it's all perspective also. But it is making sure that if you're coming, that you have a winter coat, that you have boots, you have gloves, you have all those necessities that will get you through the winter. And during the spring semester moving into the summer, that you have a fan, that you have an umbrella. So it's just making sure all of those things that you don't necessarily think about when you're heading to college, that you are considering those things. And for the second part, how involved our students in the community around you are. A lot of students are very involved, and you can be as involved as you want to be. We actually have an office on campus, the RCCL, Rochester Community College Leadership, and I probably have those words mixed up. So Melissa, help me if I have them all mixed up. But RCCL, and their whole purpose is, and I'll drop the link in after I finish talking, but their whole purpose is to help students that want to be involved, and the greater Rochester community is to help them find those opportunities to be involved. And a lot of the organizations have community efforts that they work in the Rochester community as well. So it's very easy to be involved. We actually have a day during the orientation week called Wilson Day, where students just go out and volunteer. Wait a minute, please. That go out and volunteer in the Rochester community. I'm sorry, my granddaughter's trying to talk to me as I'm talking. Where students go out and actually volunteer and do things around the Rochester community.
Thank you so much, Ms. Griffin, and to everyone else. Oh, I think there's one last question in the chat before we wrap things up. And let me just take a brief look at that. The tunnels are used all year round, just so you know, summer as well as the winter. It really depends, because in the winter time, we definitely have some sunny days, and then sometimes we don't, just so you know. And lastly, yes, students definitely do bike riding, but once the snow hits, that's no, you can't do that. It's over. But yes, students actually bring bikes to campus. There are a few places where you can do bike storage on campus, but you can find those specific things once you are here, and the residence hall that you live in can provide those specific information. But we are wrapping this up. It has been a pleasure. Thank you to all the panelists who was able to provide some insight. For all of you who were able to participate, thank you so much for showing up today. Please reach out and email us if you have any more questions, and I'll turn it over to Ms. Shana. Anthony.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hopefully you guys learned a ton. I am going to hang out for a second. If anyone has any specific admissions questions or anything like that, feel free to use the chat. Also be sure, I'm going to hang out as well so that you can capture all of our panelists' contact information and you don't lose that before the webinar ends. So thank you again to all of our panelists for sharing such great information. We'll talk to you soon, and I hope everyone has a great night. Bye-bye.
Thank you.